the future of startups.
Thanks, guys, and thank you all that are not eating and decided to come and watch this panel today. You should have, Mikhail, you should have been here for the yoga session just now. I think that would have helped on that one, definitely. We do have somebody that's actually making their way to the stage, but we shall commence now with the future of startups, interactive strategies, and investment opportunities. We're not going to be doing any yoga, as anybody that's been here for a little while has already gone through that. But what we are going to do is we're going to look at the startups today and what the startups are facing in the evolving landscape. I was very lucky to go through a startup phase in this last 12 months where I managed to get some investment in, and I'm hoping that I've done the right thing, and you guys may be the ones to tell me. But what we're going to do is we'll introduce and or allow the panel to introduce themselves, tell you what their jobs are and what they're actually doing. And what I'd like to possibly do is, whilst we're doing this, what you feel is the most exciting interactive trend within startups now. Mona, would you like to start that, please?
Hi, Julian. Thank you, everyone. I am Mona Motwani, coming from India. I'm a founder CEO of Ixia Capital. It's a VC fund which focuses on India, Africa, and UAE. The question you ask is the most...
What is the most... oh, God, I've forgotten it already. What is the most exciting interactive trend that you see within startups now? So what's giving you your buzz of investing?
So for me, I would like to actually highlight a trend, which is also a misconception in my opinion, is that, you know, a lot of people feel that interacting stuff and gaming is all about people who are young. I don't think that's the way, because if you go back in time in 2010 to 2015, people who were actually playing the casual games are people who are at their 30s and 40s, and they are the people who are actually now looking for more interesting, rich experiences. And that is the reason every industry all across the globe is going towards gamification. They are the people who actually have money, have disposable income, have means, have time, looking for more richer experiences. And that is what I think the trend which we will keep on seeing going forward.
Super. That's with the online entertainment sector, yes. Ahmed, same question to you. So introduce yourself to the crowd, tell them what you do, and let's see what you believe is the exciting trends now.
Sardar, Durrani. I'm the head of investments for a large family office based out of Dubai. I spent the large part of my last 2 decades in Hong Kong, Singapore, and now Dubai. Dubai is the new home for the last few years. The paradigm shift has moved from banking to PE to now, say, growth companies. I don't like the word startups. It's just too generic these days. Everyone's a startup. But companies that can actually scale. So scale-ups is more like our sweet spot. What's exciting, again, gamification or GameFi is not something unique. It's not a unique sector for us. Every sector has gamification aspects to it, and something that we spoke about earlier as well. Most of our portfolio companies have some sort of a bottleneck somewhere. We've been lucky enough to be exposed to a few, again, scale-ups who've actually identified for our other portfolio companies those bottlenecks and solved them. So for us, gamification is actually a efficient way of identifying a problem and solving it in terms of what every company wants at the end of the day, which is clients. So how can you onboard clients faster? How can you engage them faster? How can you monetize them faster? How can you give back to them whatever they need faster?
Super.
And that towards gamification.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Moving quickly on to Mikhail.
Yeah, hello. My name is Mikhail. I'm a VC, and for the last 2 years, we invest in Telegram-based startups, because I'm really to believe that right now it's a great opportunity to invest in social-based platform, because like WeChat, did it 5, 10 years ago to create sub-internet inside some kind of like a social platform. There's the same similar trend we see in Telegram, in Discord, in Line Messenger. So we do believe there is a place for hundreds of startups who can handle the role of key players in a different social platform, because they evaluate all the rules and all the power tools of these special platforms.
Super. And your journey is a little bit more exciting as well, isn't it? Because you created this and then did very, very successfully, and now you're actually investing in the creators to bring it back as well.
Yeah, exactly. The whole my story is I've been a startup. Yeah, we made a startup, then we made an exit, and then we invested in a startup. So.
Super. So guys, this is the sort of person you need to evolve to. Somebody that's done it, been there, and now is investing in the rest as well. Guys, moving on then from that, and keeping the same trend, let's say, what do you think are actually making startups investable now? So what makes you think, I need to invest in this startup? Or scale up, let's say. And with that, have you seen that let's say the start of AI coming in, Web3 now over the last few years, has that influenced what you're investing in? Mona, again, I'll go firstly to you.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And I think I will start with the brief pointers here. One is whenever I get to interact with founders, new age entrepreneurs, it's mainly like, first thing which attracts me the most is the founding team. Because that connect is the super fundamental for me to actually see, where the journey can go together. Second is, which is way I look at it, is it a painkiller or is it a vitamin? I mean, is it really solving something or is it just good to have stuff?
Great analogy there, yes.
So if it is a painkiller, then of course, I get a lot of more interest. I would clearly say that. And third is scalability, of course. Can this go up to 10x, 100x without actually putting too much of cost? And I think these three areas which mainly, and yeah, the another one which is my personal favorite is that the network and the partnerships. People who are in their team, maybe industry experts, advisor who are actually guiding them, and what kind of strategic partnerships do they have is something which is very, very important for me.
So what you're actually saying there then is people by people.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So they're by people, but also make sure that the tech and the uplift is going to be there, and I think everybody here is like looking at the 100x, not the 10x. 10x is good, but let's look at the 100x, yeah?
Correct.
Superb. Following on to that, Mikhail, would you like to take the same question here?
Sure. So when I started business, 20 years ago, when I started my first company 20 years ago, it was really hard to build a startup. So we spent almost 3 years to build something because we need to buy some kind of like a stuff. We may need to code a lot. Right now, that time definitely changed, right? If you want to build something, you just need a couple of days. AI tools, some kind of like every new tool just accelerate dramatically how you build your company, how you build your solution. That's why we believe in real data only. So you can pitch for us any kind of ideas, right? From zero to some kind of like starships to the moon, etc. But the real data, it's just what really matters for us. So because you can launch your company just in a couple of days, and you can face your startup, to the crowd, to the audience, and if your audience using your startup, if their attention engagement rate is really good, if people willing to pay you from day one, that's why it's a painkiller, it's not a vitamin. So that's why. So that's why we believe in real data. That's why we believe, we believe in monetization from day zero, because if it's a real problem and you have a real solution, people will pay for a real problem and a real solution. That's why we believe only in data.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Ahmed, I'm going to ask you as well the same question before we move on to the questions, noticing the time that we have as well. So same thing to yourself.
Very simply, my two panelists have said exactly what I'm going to repeat as well, but I think I'll just add a dynamic, the scale-up dynamic to it. Like you said, right, it has to be monetizable from day one. The difference is that in our case, we will only get into it once it's proven its use case. I don't want to spend my fiduciary capital giving it to a founder who's going to experiment and find out what the ideal scenario is. So that's more what Mona's team of VCs would do. We go towards more growth equity style of investing. So every single asset that we invest in has to work. And that's why we do less investments, so less number of investments, larger quantums, larger ticket sizes, because we want those companies to have gone through the cycle of finding the best use case, finding the best monetizing scenario. And once done, then through our existing platform and our partnerships, we really want to scale it up globally. So that's our sweet spot.
Superb. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, here, we've literally got every type of scale here. We've got the startup that became investor, we've got the VC side of it, and then we've got the private equity that comes in once you've proven it, as he likes to say. Going on to something that was mentioned. Oh, Cristina, nice to see you. Hi. To be honest, I'm sure they're not going to mind if we go over a little bit, are they? It's much more fun, this panel. Cristina, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. I know you've been trying to work your way through the crowd there. I'm going to throw you straight into the spotlight here. And I'm going to ask you as well exactly the same question I've just asked everybody else, is what is the number one thing that makes startups investable for you now?
Wow, very good question. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to share with you my knowledge. I think what makes a startup investable is the founders, is have the capability to build a team that are passionate about a purpose, that are moving towards a solution, that want to fix a problem, that want to create a solution to impact lots of people. Because no matter if the product doesn't work, they will find a way to change the product, to change the direction, but always they will be resilient. And when you have resilient people, they will make sure whatever they do work, or they use whatever obstacle they have in order to make it happen. So I think founders are the key to make a startup investable.
Thank you very much.
Julian, if I could just quickly add on
Yes,
a PE perspective, exactly what Mona and Cristina also mentioned. Even later stage companies, we have a saying in PE, right? So you can do a bad deal with a good partner, but you should not do a good deal with a bad partner. The bad partner will burn you, no matter what happens. But a good partner can, again, take a pivot, be resilient, and can make the deal happen for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I like the habit forming there as well, because if you have the right investor there, not the right investor, sorry, the right founder will bring energy to the team, and the team will work and create habits about what they do, and will make it a more productive company as well. We mentioned gamification, AI, and loyalty, customer engagement, etc. like that. Is this just a buzz within the startups? Is this something that is actually really looked for within the startup, or if people just throw out some keywords to you, do they have to prove it? So, Ahmed, after our discussion, I'm going to come straight to you for this one.
So I'll take both of them, AI and gamification. And gamification first, just because of the topic of the panel as well. We've got active use cases. I won't list them all around, but I'll give you a few examples. We had a health tech out of Bangladesh where postnatal depression is something that most women know about. After you have a baby, you go through depression, and the doctors typically give you a handout or a leaflet to read. And women weren't reading that because they were going through a mental stress that is unprecedented for them, right? So gamification, solving a problem, is just one where we made these mini games, hyper-casual games, which would just get the women that immediate dose of instant gratification, but at the same time, they'd be learning about their newborn child. And the take rate was so impressive that other industry spaces within our own portfolio started popping up, because we do these internal showcasing. And they said, we have ideas as well. So a brokerage popped up and said, client onboarding for digital investing is something that we're having an issue with. There's a bottleneck there. We gamified that process. One of the banks that we were working with, they popped up. They said, hey, analyst education around Chinese walls and investment banking compliance is a very tedious process and a boring PDF. Can we gamify that whole process? They did the same thing. E-commerce platform, which is in the region as well, which is one of our portfolio companies, popped up and said, we want to put QR codes and we put a point system and do a league table chart for all the users who become our select users. And based on how many points you get, we can gamify the reward system. So gamification really solves a lot of problems. It only depends on how you identify the problem and if you've identified your cohort. Now, quickly jumping before I hog too much of my time into AI.
Thank you.
Everyone says AI. A lot of deals come to us and say, oh, AI-driven this, AI-driven that. And we ask them a simple question. Guys, is it just AI because someone at the back end is doing ML for you? Or are you actually solving for an underlying use case? And I'll just give one example. The example is telcos and banks want to use AI, but we have the most pushback from them to use our AI product. Because they say there's something called hallucinations, which you clearly know a lot about. We spoke about it yesterday. Hallucinations is a genetic inbuilt problem within AI. And if the founder can't explain to me how hallucinations works in his platform, that means he doesn't know AI that. So we step back from that.
Thank you. I'm going to put you to allow somebody else to talk. And Mikhail is nodding his head there as well. I know he'd love to take this up as well, especially around the hallucination side of it.
It's just the tools, guys. It's just the tools. AI, Web3, gamification, no matter what, it's just the tools. If you solve the real problem, these tools will maybe allow you to create a better product for the market. That's it. That's it. It's just a new tech and new tools. If you can use the tool, you will create a product. If you just use it for buzzwords, it's just nothing.
Cristina, you're getting excited about this as well, I can see. So
Yes, 100%. I'm focused on crypto, mostly on blockchain. So I want to share one example of how gamification drive adoption to crypto. So as we know, crypto is one of the most hardest topics to understand for people. So one example of gamification that worked was tapping games. If you go to Telegram, you have these mini apps that were able to bring millions of users to the ecosystem. So a lot of startups were trying to bring more users with very hard words and very hard ways to come. However, they didn't achieve what the mini apps achieve in such short period of time. So I will say that everybody is eager to go and play a game, and even though they didn't know they had to get into crypto to play these mini apps, now they are part of the crypto ecosystem because of a game.
super, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that. Mona, still being very aware of the time that we have here, do you think that on the side of gamification, on the side of bringing this into startups and to keeping people engaged within that startup, to keep on having more and more clients coming back, can you see the need within that of ownership? So customer ownership, NFTs within it and things like that. You know, we can look at it and we can see it on things like, if we go down the gaming side, like Fortnite and not Call of Duty, what's the other one? The other shooter-up thing, where they get the loot boxes, they own things, they can sell it within the system. Can you see within startups, would this be something you'd look at to see extra growth within the startup through that as well?
Actually, yes. So I'll start with basic answer is blockchain and crypto you cannot not focus on. I mean, that's increasingly like crazily. But yeah, NFT is a word which I think is got a little defamed as well. People are resisting themselves to talk more about NFT because this word is overly used for both good and bad reasons. And people are trying to find synonyms like digital collectibles or some more innovative words around it. But eventually, it's all NFT, right? The concept is same. The use case, I would say, is yes, absolutely, it's a must. The biggest example I would say is that the one I've seen recently, Manchester United came up with NFTs where they're not calling it NFTs, but they're calling it digital collectibles, where they are giving this as a membership token, or they can actually vote in their club. They can get some privileges in terms of players, in terms of voting rights, in terms of merchandising, choosing, and color, and all of that. So that is a great, great use case, I would see. But yeah, a lot of startups are coming up with unique cases. Mm-hmm. But I would say the innovation is still yet to come.
So I think what we're getting from here is Man United has looking to sort of get a marketplace where people can sell these and actually make a profit on them as well, yeah?
Yes, actually just a great tool of engagement, I would say.
Absolutely, 100%. It's a fantastic tool of engagement. Mikhail, would you like to take that up as well? Because of what you're invested in, I think having that sort of collectibles within that whole chat sphere, let's say, of Telegram, could be a really good way of going on that as well, and something you may look into.
Yeah, exactly. For example, Telegram just launched a couple of months ago, the gifts inside the Telegram. It's NFT. For users, they don't call it NFT, right? They call it a gift. And why it's better for us? Because you can share the gift. Everybody can see what kind of gifts do you have, and you can choose someone by sending them the gift, and you can trade the gifts on a platform outside the Telegram. And that's the key thing. So then the Telegram dropped some kind of like a new gift, everybody trying to buy it because it could become the rare one. So same kind of things like cards or the MLB, NBA cards, the couple of decades ago. Right now, the same kind of thing. But you should avoid calling them NFTs. It should be collectibles or gifts or whatever.
As Mona was saying, I think the word's been overly used, and as we can see where it's been overly used, it's on the wrong state of how it's been overused. It says time's up, and I'm going to have a look, see if we get a couple of minutes. No, not even a couple. Not even a couple of minutes. So we'll bring this one to an end. One thing that your clients need to do to make you invest. Mona.
I think I can think of two.
I only want one, because he'll shout at me.
Okay, then I will use analogies, fail fast. Whatever is not working, drop it, cut it. Whatever is working, focus on scalability. That's all.
Superb. Ahmed?
Execution prowess.
Ooh, I like that.
If they can execute,
I'm going to write that one down. I'm going to keep that one. I'll use that in LinkedIn, okay? Mikhail?
The real data.
The real data. Nice. Cristina?
Traction. Show that you already have users that are willing to pay for your product, so the investor just comes and knows exactly how much he will get in return because you already are profitable.
Superb. So guys, you know what you can take off from this. You know how to invest. We have boutique firm that will help you. We have somebody that's done it and is investing in. We have Mono VC, lower level. And then we have Ahmed here that comes in when you've actually done it. I'd like you to put your hands together, please, for my wonderful panel.
Very, very big thank you to Julian and his panel there. Wonderful, insightful. And I think we all learned a lot once again from the experts in the field. Big smiles. Julian, too much teeth.